Well, hello, friends and family. It's once again time for our daily dose, and I appreciate you joining us, as so many of you do every day. I appreciate you sharing this program via some social media means or some way of passing it on. It's always good to be able to help other people, and especially to be able to encourage people with the use of God's Word. So far as my health goes, the last few days, things have been pretty much typical. I've not had too many problems as of late. However, last evening I didn't do as much walking as I had the few days before. I'm generally doing about 2.5 miles at a time, but I didn't get to do that last night. I wasn't feeling very well. I had a couple of sleepless and restless nights, and so kind of need time to recover from that. So that's mostly what I've done today, is kind of sit back on the couch with my feet propped up. I tried to recover from that. I look forward to here in just the next few moments heading out to worship services with the Adamsville Church of Christ again, Lord willing, and enjoying some great gospel preaching there. They have their summer series ongoing, and so I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to their 7 billion program, which is a program that they're using to discuss evangelism. And that goes on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I hope to be a part of that. As far as things that we discuss spiritually, however, I want to point out today that what I'm about to tell you about is something that I'm rather disappointed in, and that is because over the course of the last few years, I have not always taken my time and used it wisely. I've had all kind of time on my hands, and I've used much of it, I pray, for study of God's Word and for the Lord and the preaching of the gospel. But at the same time, I see times in my life when I just let opportunity pass me by. As a matter of fact, we find out in the New Testament, in Ephesians chapter 5, in verse 14, the beginning, God says to us there, He says, "Wherefore saith, Awake thou that sleepest, arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but wise." Now, basically what he said right now is get up and do something. And as you're doing it, be sure that you're looking around. Be sure that you're filled with wisdom and not acting as if you are foolish. That is, without wisdom, without the sight of God. But then the next verse I want to focus on. Verse 16 adds to that, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. And then concluding there in verse 17, wherefore be not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Now, friends, we may not understand the full will of the Lord in our life, but there's one thing the Lord wills us to do, and that is to live faithfully toward Him and by His Word. The Lord wills that we use His Word as an advantage above all the strongholds of this life. The Lord wills that we redeem the time, because those days are evil. Now I want to focus on that verse there, verse 16, redeeming the time. We understand what it means to redeem, although we may not use the word every day. To redeem literally means to buy back, to recover, to restore from ransom. And then the word time here is a peculiar word in the New Testament. As a matter of fact, this word time is often translated from two Greek words, one of them being chronos, which literally means the passage or a portion of time. But the word here used does not really mean that. The word here, time, comes from yet another Greek word, which literally means opportunity. As a matter of fact, Paul writes to another group of people, Galatians 6 and verse 10, and says this, "As we therefore have opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith." Friends, that word opportunity, Galatians 6 and verse 10, is exactly the same word as time in Ephesians 5 and verse 16. What's being said here in both passages is this: do not let opportunity pass you by. Back several years ago, decade or so ago, I worked for many years in the cabinet industry. And I worked on the management side of things. And my job was to push people to give it their all, to push people to do their best. And one of the things I used to tell employees nearly on a daily basis was this: if opportunity passes you by, it's probably because it's disguised as hard work. Now, some of them would take that advice and some of them would leave it. Many times I was using that because someone would come and say, "I want a raise, I want a day off, I want time to do this, I want to be able to do that." And I would say, well, if opportunity passes you by, it's probably because it's disguised as hard work. Friends, it's going to take hard work. It takes work for the Lord in order to accomplish His will. It takes work for the Lord in order to keep up and to uphold His Word. And therefore, why not use our opportunities wisely? Why not take the time that you have today, the moments, the seconds even in your day, find a way to use them to your advantage for God and on His behalf. Redeem the time today, friends, because tomorrow the days very well may be evil. Tomorrow may be a different day, but redeeming what we have today is so important. I pray that you take advantage of every opportunity you have in life for God, and I also pray that you've been encouraged.